You must listen. Where I am from, there is a well-known legend that has been handed down from ancient times. It says, when the chosen boy reaches the point, he will find the light. The passing of time will shatter the nightmare rock and will reveal the path of light. You see, it is my opinion that you are that boy. This I believe. The legends from the ancient times tell of 3 boys and a girl who will defeat Gigas. Square roots!
Yay! Let's do it! And welcome to Square Roots, the classic RPG podcast. My name is Jim Banks. I am joined by Matthew Van Zant.
Heyo.
John Captain Strong. Brandon.
That's my home address. I live downtown, where life's
and
a
Vanessa.
mess.
Those are the 3 boys, and I'm the girl.
And this is a podcast where we play and talk about classic RPGs, one chunkerino at a time.
Going to Square Roots, I'm gonna have some fun.
And
Come on, I'm going to Square Roots because it's 3-1. 3 boys for every
the SNES
girl.
classic RPG.
Boom, 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 boom.
What classic RPG are we playing today, Jimifer?
EarthBound.
We're playing EarthBound.
Mother
Yeah.
2.
Classic SNES RPG, iconic RPG if I'm, not taking too many liberties.
Y'all played this game before?
I definitely got further today than I've ever gotten in this game. Which is to say, this very first chunker is way further than I ever made it before.
Yeah, that's about. I think that I've played exactly that amount that Matthew played of it before of Mother 3, but for this game, I've played about halfway through, I think.
Well, aren't you fancy?
Yeah.
What about you, Nessa?
I played some of it, and I do not remember how much.
Did you remember Captain Strong?
I didn't remember Captain Strong.
My friend Travis had this game, and he showed it to me when I was obsessed with, I think the PlayStation was coming out, and I was playing Lunar and stuff, and I was like, this game looks like garbage, and it's for babies. I would never play this.
It is a game for babies.
But it's not.
Do you guys want to talk about EarthBound's North American marketing
That's one of the
scheme?
reasons I didn't play it. That and Super Metroid, because they had the worst marketing.
What was it?
How? What do you mean?
Well, let me give you some examples of some ads from Nintendo at the time. This game stinks.
What?
That's what it says.
The book stinks too. Comes with more rude smells than the old pull my finger joke.
What?
It came with a scent thing, a scratch and sniff.
Oops, no, don't do that. Stop
A
it.
scratch and sniff?
And it was all farts and things.
What?
It was really dumb. And poor this was the play it loud era of Nintendo marketing where they marketed good games badly. And Sega also did this too. This was Sega yelling Sega and people being like, this extreme kid will show that teacher.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. They did it with everything. They did it with cereal, and they're like, Grandma can't handle this crunch. And then they'd, roll by on their skateboard, and her wig would, spin around, and her pants would fall down.
I am very willing to have been wrong as a teenager about this game because we've played the first chunker, and I've played half of it before, and it's pretty neat.
I love it.
My experience is that it's goddamn near impossible.
Aww.
And the only way I made it through was by save scumming the shit out of it. So
You don't need... Oh, right. Save... anyway. We'll get to that. Before we really get too deep divey into EarthBound, though. How about we level up?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Who wants to go first?
Before we level up, should we talk? I guess we already talked about our experience with this game.
Yeah, we did.
Huh, never mind.
Talk more about it after.
Just did it.
Don't tell me what we just did. Actually, please do, because I forgot.
Yeah, I thought so. I'll go ahead and level up. Listeners, here's a little behind-the-scenes peek. We're recording this podcast on the evening of St. Patrick's Day.
Uh-oh.
Is true.
This might be why Matthew, and potentially myself, and also Jim, and maybe even John, have trouble remembering what happened 5 minutes ago.
Don't rope me in with your
Yeah, I
nonsense.
wasn't drinking.
I don't celebrate racist
I
holidays.
hate St. Patrick's Day. It's my least favorite holiday. I hate it. I've hated it.
It's not a holiday.
Since I was a
it's
child.
Goddamn
It
bullshit.
is goddamn
It's a
bullshit.
lie.
When I
It's a hollow
was a
lie.
little girl, I witnessed more than once children getting pinched because they didn't wear green. Oftentimes, these children were recent immigrants to the United States, and they didn't know that they were supposed to wear green, or their parents didn't. I mean, they were just children. You just wear whatever your mom lays out for you, and it wasn't fair, and it wasn't right, and you should not find people who are not conforming to whatever you think the behavior should be, and then punish them with physical violence.
Whoa.
Well, that was a crazy person rant.
So you're having a good time, Vanessa? I don't know where you're going with this.
Yeah, so I went to a brewery and there was like some of those river dancer kids. They were river dancing along. It was all right.
Those river dancers, the gang of delinquent river dancers.
Yeah, you know, they like get in a line and they're like clonky, 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 clomp. I saw them. Mm-hmm. Green dresses.
So bitter.
Wow. So Vanessa's level up is she doesn't like Ireland or Irish people.
That's not what I
think
said.
Vanessa's level up is that she's a little drunk.
I'm not drunk.
I just poured my first glass of wine. Thank
Wine?
you very much.
Ooh, fancy.
I don't drink that much.
See my stemless wine glass?
Yeah, I haven't bought beer in a while, so I don't have anything to drink. So, So, Vanessa, is there anything else?
I'm gonna drink an entire bottle of wine over the course of this
Yes,
recording.
there is something else. In addition to the beer, I also had a margarita.
Hey,
This is going to be an interesting episode of Square Roots. I can tell already.
Oh, I think so too.
I hope that you have a drink handy, Vanessa, so that you don't get that post-drinky drunk sleepiness and pass out on us halfway through this
It
episode.
already.
Like somebody did before.
Yeah, we have pictures of that person doing it.
Yes, we do. And they know who they are, and they should be ashamed
Here's
of themselves.
the problem. I got home about 2.5 hours ago at this point,
Uh-huh.
and so I'm already there.
Oh.
You know, Vanessa, you could have just asked to push this recording back. That would have been fine.
Nope, I'm ready to go. I'm so sober and so awake.
Okay.
Kids, don't drink irresponsibly. John, how did you level up?
So, let's maybe move on to Jim's level up.
I don't know.
Wow, what's wrong with your level
Or
up?
mine. You can do mine. I don't care.
Let's do John's, because I don't know that I've done anything interesting since yesterday.
All right. Well, guess what, folks?
What?
I went to the store.
Oh, nice.
I bought some
Beer.
lean beef. I bought some quick oats.
Oh,
I bought some mustard. I bought some brown sugar. I bought some onions. I bought some bell peppers.
oh.
Oh, yeah.
Why do you sound confused about what you brought at the
Well,
store?
yeah.
You're telling the story.
Because there was a celebrity chef, and I was like, oh, I haven't heard of them in years, but I know they make like old-fashioned kind of food well, so I'll go see what their meatloaf
Was it Paula Deen?
recipe is. And yes, it's Paula Deen, and I didn't know about the recent Paula Deen stuff.
I was going to say, it makes sense. It's very on brand for John to choose Paula Deen.
It was Paula Deen. I feel very bad. But So I used Paula Deen's recipe. I combined the ground beef with the chopped onions, with the chopped bell peppers, with the quick oats.
Oh?
I mixed up the brown sugar with the mustard and ketchup.
Uh-huh.
I formed it into a meatloaf.
Whoa! Is this loafing around?
Welcome to...
It's not. It's
Loafing Around 2019.
It's not loafing around. Loafing around is not a
Made
thing.
a meatloaf with bell peppers?
Yeah, it's called texture, Matthew.
Yeah, I don't know what the bell... Oh, and also she wanted canned diced tomato without the juice, which was interesting. And she asked for 8 ounces, but I didn't have a scale, so I think I might have put a little too much in. But I made it. It is one of the most delicious things I've ever cooked in my life. So if you want to find this recipe, I can give it to you if you don't want to give her the clicks, which I totally understand. And it was a very good meatloaf. Strongly recommended.
And I would do
I'm glad you had such a positive meatloaf experience, John.
Good job, John.
And then it made some... Whoa. So it made some good sandwiches for the next day, too.
But I'll never forget
Get the way it tasted last week. Oh, no. No way.
And he would do anything.
Does anyone have any questions about my meatloaf?
He would do anything.
Did you eat it with ketchup?
No. There's already like that mix of brown sugar and ketchup and mustard that I glazed it with.
I have a
I
question
like to
about
eat my
your loaf.
meatloaf with ketchup.
Sorry, what was that, Vanessa?
I have a question about your loaf.
I feel... hold on one moment. I'm just going to answer Jim.
Oh, okay.
Jim, I feel like it's got enough flavor already in the ingredients. And the oats disappeared into the recipe, which is really interesting. I guess it thickened it up?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, you can use breadcrumbs as well. It's just in there to get it all gluey.
Yeah. So, sorry, what was your question there, Vanessa?
Oh, what wouldn't you do for loaf?
Murder a man.
Oh, so you would do anything for loaf, but you won't do that?
Yeah, exactly.
But he won't do that.
What if it's Hitler?
Oh, no, I won't do
If it's Hitler?
Mm-hmm.
Well, see, the problem with killing Hitler was that his terrible decisions later on in the Nazi Empire led to them being taken down. So I feel like, depending on what time you kill Hitler... it really could change history for the worse. Or there might have been an even worse dictator that showed up around there.
Mm-hmm.
You don't...
Maybe somebody competent.
You don't want to mess with causality like that. I think the timeline, as crappy as it is unstable, and you don't want to just start throwing random elements around.
John Brandon, pro-Hitler.
Have I ever told y'all the story of the bachelor party and the meatloaf song?
No.
John, why don't you pass it over to Matthew for an old classic
right,
level up?
Matthew.
I'll tell y'all a dumb
How
story.
about a level up classic in this loafing around?
So about 15 years ago, 10 years ago maybe. No, Haley is almost 10, so it would have been before that. So about 15 years ago, some friends of mine got married, and they decided to have a co-bachelor-bachelorette party at the Hard Rock Casino in Tampa, Florida.
Ooh.
And my friends and I all got rooms in the Hard Rock. So a bunch of us were together, but we were also kind of spread out, so there were clumps of us, clumps of friends.
All rock hard.
And we were... wandering around back and forth into each other's rooms and across the hotel all night. Each room, for some god unknown reason, came with a small CD stereo and a CD with greatest hits on it. And one of those songs on that CD was Meatloaf's I Would Do Anything for Love. So my friend and I proceeded to go into every single room we could find that we had access to and put that song on as loud as we could so that almost the entire hotel area of the Hard Rock Casino had Meatloaf's I Would Do Anything for Love blaring so loud that everybody around them could hear it. It was pretty goddamn delightful. And then at the end of the night, we managed to get the hotel bar to play the song for us. This song had no connection to anything other than we thought it was really funny at the time. That's also the night that my friend's married sister came on real strong to me, and then her husband wanted to beat me up.
Oh, no.
Wow.
Oh, did you get beat up?
I did not. Did not fool around with the sister. Did not fight the husband. Mm-hmm. I just bailed into a different hotel room.
Just
with some really good music playing.
You hose yourself down with holy water because you got too hot.
Ha!
Anyway, I guess that'll just be my level up, because other than seeing Captain Marvel again today, I ain't got much. Jim, what about you?
Let's see. I mean, we just recorded our most recent episode yesterday.
Wow.
Can you...
I don't know that
You're
I've
just
done a
revealing
lot
our corporate secrets
since yesterday.
I know. Way to part the kimono. Mm-hmm. You know what, Jim? Go in Square Roots timeout.
Yeah.
Leave the Square Roots table in the Square Roots house somewhere in North America.
Yeah.
I watched a lot of Teen Titans Go.
Ooh.
Nice. That show's great.
If you were a Teen Titan, which Teen Titan would you be?
I feel like a Cyborg or a Robin.
Oh.
Okay.
I was going to go with Beast Man.
Yeah, I a Beast Boy. I think I a Beast Boy. I'm probably a Robin, too.
I mean, for Jim, I was going to go with Beast Boy.
Really? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like a Robin. Like the straight man.
Maybe that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Is that because you're listening to 311 right now?
I am.
The whitest music ever made.
Yeah.
Well, what about Jason Mraz's The Remedy? I feel like that's up there too.
So
Come original, yes, come original.
What's that song? It's a 90s song where the guy wears a bucket hat in the video.
Chumpa Wumpa?
No. It's that, like, you know what? I can't fucking remember. I'll come up with it eventually. I'm going to interrupt us later with it.
Okay, sounds good.
Bucket hat?
Yeah, the guy's wearing a
You mean
bucket hat. He's like in a
Buckethead?
mall.
Are we talking about, like, Jamiroquai with his
No,
giant
it's
fuzzy
that song.
hat?
No, wait. It's that song by the New Radicals. I don't think he's wearing a bucket hat. I think he's a bald guy.
You got the music in you.
Are you thinking of Buckethead, the, I believe, short-lived replacement guitarist for Metallica?
Buckethead is still around, my friend.
Oh,
He's
really?
performing in Dallas.
I wouldn't
pretty
know.
soon,
I think they started writing Christian music. I gave up on them a long time ago. It was called Reload, and I was like, refuse. That was a solid joke. All right, guys. Well, once again, we managed to go about a half hour into our level ups. So how about we cut it off here and just, end the show
What?
permanently?
No.
Oh.
Come original. Yes, come original.
I'm a Starfire.
Oh.
I think of you more of a raven. What
I'm so Raven.
are we calling the quest log
Call your dad.
on this season of Square Roots?
Call your dad.
It's time to call your dad.
Call your dad.
This is where John inserts some fancy bleep bloops.
I really like that EarthBound song in your parents' house. I think it's just a really sweet little song.
I was editing while I was playing, so I didn't listen. I didn't hear any of the music, basically.
There's some very good music. Very weird music. A lot of heavy samples. They sampled a lot of stuff that, like, there's Beatles samples and stuff that, like, if anyone wanted to put copyright claims in, Nintendo would be in trouble. But no one said anything. It's been 20-something years, so I think it's okay.
I don't think anybody even marginally related to the Beatles has ever, in any way, shape, or form, heard of the game EarthBound.
I think you're right.
All right, guys. Well, it's time to call your dad. Let's get into it. It's EarthBound Episode 1.
Daddy.
What'd y'all name your characters?
Ooh.
Ugh.
Ooh.
I'll tell you mine. It's not very creative. The main character is Van. That's me.
Mm-hmm.
The girl is Nessa. That's Nessa.
Mm-hmm.
The other boy is Jam. And the last boy is Jom.
Yay!
I named my main character Jim, and I regret it. Because I thought it would just be kind of funny, but turns out they use the name all the time. So it's like, Jim did this, Jim did that, Jim. And, you know.
Yeah, my son was watching me play and was like, why does it keep saying your name?
Yeah. I'm fine with Jim. Jim and I don't have any beef or nothing, but it's a lot of Jim. I named the girl Nessa, and...
For the sharp-eared listeners, they'll realize that the way she said that strongly implied that she and John have cray-cray beef.
I named the glasses boy John, and I named the last character Matt because it looked mad.
I still think it should have been the other way around. I think I should have been the last character, and that glasses boy should have been Matthew.
Okay, you have your own game where you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, you can name your characters whatever you want. In fact, what did you name them?
Well, there's a button that says I don't care, and I just kept pressing that and keep suggesting names, but in the end I went with the classic names. I went with Ness, I went with Paula, I went with Jeff, and I went with Pooh.
Pooh.
That's his actual name, isn't it?
Yep, that's his name.
Ooh.
And the dog is King.
I named my dog Boner. and then it asks you what's your favorite thing, and I said ass.
I said ass too.
And then it asked me what your favorite food is, and I said spiders.
I named the dog Stone after Dr. Steve Stone.
Oh.
I named my favorite thing as sleep because it's what I wish I could be doing right now. And I said my favorite homemade food was cake. It's not really true, but that's probably the best thing that I can make is this very nice cake I make with chocolate and espresso.
While you wear a short skirt and a long jacket. So, the game opens.
Hold on, I guess we're not going to talk about what my characters are named.
I guess we
well,
should.
As usual, John likes to brush right past you. I think because he just assumes he knows what you're going to say.
No, I
think
don't.
John's got a list of most basic straight white guy, cis white male things.
I assume that Jim's names are Jim, Jimette, Jimmy, and Jim.
They're not.
Oh, see, I figured they were 3'11", Jason Mraz, real big fish,
Come on, Eileen.
and jalapeno
And
poppers.
Dave Matthews.
Dave Matthews.
Number 41.
Your favorite thing is My Body is a Wonderland?
No, I named my main character Fart. I named the girl Blep. I named the third character Glop. And the final character is Matt. I named the dog Bort. And I said favorite food is ass. What's the other question?
Oh, so what's your favorite thing then?
Oh, I think I said boners.
So we opposited some of
We
these
did.
things.
Great job.
You do get a power in this ep that is named after your favorite thing. So my ass power does a lot of damage.
Oh, I just assumed that I had gotten some kind of standard sleep power.
I really wanted to, oh, yeah.
No,
like-
it's an
confusing.
area of effect attack. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I just assumed it was like the regular RPG sleep thing that you never use.
I was gonna
You actually start with hypnotize, which is the sleep power.
the problem is there's only like 5 letters for your favorite thing, or maybe 6.
Yeah.
And I wanted to put Chipotle, but that's too many letters for favorite food. So I had to put pierogi, which my dad used to make when I was a kid. And for favorite thing, I thought about it for a long time, and I ended up with chonk.
Chonk.
So Psy Chonk is my attack.
That wine gets better with each sip.
Oh, that's good. As a good wine should. So the game, like when you just plug in the game and start it, it starts with a really creepy sci-fi opening of like this small town being attacked by alien ships.
Mm-hmm.
And some ominous music.
Mm-hmm.
Which is like kind of juxtaposed against the weird humor that kind of permeates this game.
Yeah, I would not call it a scary game.
No.
Except that the attitude of the adults in the game is pretty scary across the board.
Yeah, what is up with these irresponsible adults?
I mean, so this is like proto-Pokemon, right? Where your parents are just like, hey, go get your stupid ass
Hey, you
killed.
want to go outside and investigate that noise in the middle of the night? I guess you're going to do it anyway. Have at it.
Yeah.
Well, you would just sneak out if I tried to stop you. Well, go sit in that little shit's room.
Well, you do hear children get beaten in another room in this game.
Yes, they do. They
That's
go
true.
off screen to get beaten by their father.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, maybe we should clarify that the protagonist of this game is a 13-year-old little boy.
A 13-year-old little English boy.
English?
Yeah, the town is in England.
It's in Eagle Land.
Oh, I thought it said England.
I think Eagle Land, it looks like a United States-y
It is.
area.
I
Yeah.
felt it was very like Americana-esque.
Mm-hmm. The look of this game reminds me of Peanuts, and there's one thing in it that in this chunker that totally is Peanuts.
What?
The hint room. Did you go in there?
Yes, it is. You're right.
It's Lucy's psychiatry stand.
Oh shit!
It says hints 5 cents. It's pretty neat. But the whole design, like the look of the characters and the houses and everything, does remind me a lot of Peanuts.
Yeah, I'd say that that's true, except that there is like one character who lives next door to you, the mother of those children, who looks like a nightmare. Like,
Yeah,
it looks
what
like
is going on with her sprite? Do they need
a prototype
lipstick
for
on that
it.
thing?
Yeah. Her smile is about half her head, and she has like teeth and big, bright, hot pink lips, and she's just horrifying.
I know it's definitely an inspiration for the Christopher Nolan version of the Joker, I think.
Yes, I agree.
But she's an integral part of this chunker too.
Yeah.
A early villain.
So I guess we should get into the plot.
Right, the dad log.
The dad log.
Jim, who wants to do the quest loggy stuff?
I think Jim should do it because he's the dad.
Okay. Yep. All right, Dad.
All right, let's see. So, the game begins with our characters hearing a weird noise outside. There's a big kaboom, and our protagonist is startled awake from his sleep, like what happens in so many RPGs.
Oh, this is a JRPG.
Mm-hmm.
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 So he wakes up, and I mean, the only real thing you can do is to go investigate.
Well, except that you have to change out of your jammies and put some real clothes
And
on.
you can go talk
you
to
go
your sister
downstairs
and get your cracked bat.
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you go downstairs and talk to your mom, and she says that even though it's the middle of the night, she's going to let you go outside into the wilderness to check out what this boom was because, she figures you're just going to do it anyway.
Well, you're the man of the house because your dad is at work, I guess.
Who works
Yeah,
24
he's on
hours a day in his office, I guess, but
Yeah.
is really supportive over the phone.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
kind of great.
But you venture out to go check out this asteroid, and there's a lot going on outside. You meet who my first impression of him was kind of like an old-timey prospector man, this guy whose name is Liar Exaggerate.
Mm-hmm.
And he tells you to come back and talk to him because he's got some stuff to show you. Another weird adult behavior in this game where they want to hang out with you by themselves.
What's up?
You know, let me just stop you now, Jim.
Yeah.
Before you go down this rabbit hole of jokes that we're going to have to cut out of the show.
Uh-huh. So I can't make jokes about... You listen, I'm not saying there's anything weird happening. Adults want to hang out with these kids alone in their houses. and go underground in dark spaces.
That happens after, though.
It does happen
first,
later. He's grooming this kid first.
Jesus.
It's written into the dialogue. At one point, the kid comes back and he's like, "You think it's kind of weird that I want to hang out with you? We're not even related, right?" He legit straight up says it.
Yeah. But before that, you go to the asteroid site and you can't get there because cops like blocking roads in this game.
Yeah, they talk about the cops are famous for setting up roadblocks in this town.
It's kind of their thing.
Mm-hmm.
And Pokey, this dumb fat kid, is trying to get by, and he's hassling the cops, and then talks about how don't annoy the cops. He tells you not to annoy the cops, but that's what he's doing.
Yeah. Pokey thinks that he's all that, but he sucks.
Although he comes from a rough family of people that suck. So, it's he's a victim of his environment.
He seems like he's kind of played as the precocious youngster, that's always kind of tugging on the jackets of the adults in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But we get him to go home. Or, well, no, he asks us for help finding his brother, right?
Well, no, first you go home because there's nothing else for you to
right.
do.
So the road is blocked, which I guess the ONET police are notorious for blocking roads when there's an emergency. That seems like a bad practice.
Mm-hmm.
But you go home. What does your mom say when you go home?
Oh, she's just like, oh, well, cool. You can go to bed now. And you change back into your jammies and you go back to bed, and that's when you start hearing some rapping at the door.
Oh, right. Mm-hmm. Somebody's knocking on the door. And by the way, everybody waits for the 13-year-old kid to answer the door. Way to be a good steward of your home,
Is he
Mom.
supposed to be 13?
Yeah.
Because he looks like he's
6?
8.
Yeah.
And what's interesting with this game is that there's some very well-sampled sound effects. Like the knocking on this door is in this weird beat. It does kind of a... And then some other weird... It does just a whole lot of weird knocking, and it's eerie because it sounds very crisp for a Super Nintendo game.
Mm-hmm.
It's obviously a recorded sound.
Yeah, it's...
Oh, yeah. So they have a ghost in the game is what you're saying.
It just sounds really cool, and just the sound design in this game is amazing.
Mm-hmm. But, yes, there's a knock on the door. Your mother does not answer it. She waits for you to get up and go...
Your mom seems a bit off.
She is. I don't even know what to say about her.
She's a real hands-off parent.
Yeah.
She is.
Who's weirder? The mom or the dad who is literally never around and just calls you on your phone and dumps money in your bank account?
You know what? He might not be physically present, but he is. He's very encouraging emotionally and financially.
Anyway, so knock knock at the door. It's Pokey Minch.
Oh.
And he tells you that I assume his brother Picky Minch is missing.
Yeah.
Oh,
and he
boy.
wants you to help find him.
He doesn't
and then
ask
your dog comes
nicely.
along.
No,
Which is
he
nice,
demands.
and also the last time it ever happens, I think.
Yeah. The Pokey is a jerk. You can get this, at least I get the sense right away, he's kind of just a bully and an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah, he a big fat coward boy. He push you around, but he hide and not fight ever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he is Picky's older brother.
Yeah.
Anyway, and so it's off to find this dumb kid with your dumb dog and your dumb next door neighbor.
I did bring the dog with me because of course he would.
Yeah, you have the option, though. So,
Yeah.
dog kind of complains. Dog doesn't want to go, but...
Nope.
Such as the lot of a dog.
I love that the animals in this game kind of communicate in brackets, so you get their thoughts on, and he has some elaborate thoughts on not really wanting to do this, but feels compelled to anyways. So when you get into your first fight, 20 feet down the road, where you get attacked by, I don't know, a crow?
Yeah, I think it's a crow.
Oh, Matthew, what's this battle system like?
What's what?
Battle system.
So it's very Dragon Quest-y.
Exactly.
It's just kind of a menu, and you get a first-person view of the enemies. It annoying. But it do have a button right there that says Auto Battle.
Yay!
So that's good.
Yeah, the Dragon Questiness, this is kind of a parody of Dragon Quest games in a way, where they sort of take it and then make it a weird comedy.
Dragon Quest is already a weird comedy.
Yeah, that's true. And the in this game, which also happens in Dragon Quest, the dog doesn't do anything half the time. It gets distracted. Pokey doesn't do anything because he's too scared and just hides. I like that he hides behind you, and so you always take damage when anyone hits him.
Yeah. He also does things like smiles insincerely and things like that.
Pokey is an asshole. At what point, Jim, I have a question for you. At what age can you confidently say that a child is an asshole?
Oh,
like a jerk?
12.
Are you?
I think 16.
Really? I think it's
12.
a lot younger than that. I think it's
Okay, tell me more.
Like maybe 8 or 9.
Oh, wow.
Some kids are just, I'm not maybe they'll grow, maybe people ebb and flow in and out of asshole world as they mature, but some kids are assholes.
He says, having just gotten up to put his child back to bed.
Wow.
He was staring daggers at me while he said that, so I'm a little uncomfortable.
So you fight, in this case, you're fighting crows, you're fighting wild dogs. There's some, is that it? That's it for the first set of enemies,
snakes,
right?
Or is that later?
Snaky snake.
Yeah. The snakes are super weak.
Yeah, I didn't even, I'm cheating. So, the game didn't even let me fight the snakes. It just told me I won whenever I bumped into them.
Yeah.
I assume it's doing that with all of the enemies you're facing.
No, it made me fight all the crows.
Oh, interesting.
I like how once you've leveled up to a certain point, all of the enemies start running away from you instead of rushing at you.
Yeah.
And if they're super below your level, you just kill them immediately. Unless they gang up on you.
Which is the worst.
You don't actually kill anything in this game, though.
You just
That's
tame
true.
them.
Nope. You tame them.
Or you break robots and
Or you get
I
the
think,
adults to start acting normally.
Yeah.
Like when you have to beat up a room full of cops.
Yeah.
With a fucking baseball bat. Just in case anybody was curious. Alright, so what happens next? You find...
This game takes a weird quiet man turn. You just start ragging on the cops.
Well, all cops are bad, so...
Wow. So you make your way up the hill. This is where Liar Exaggerate tells you to come back alone, which is totally normal. You get... The police have gone, so you can make your way all the way up to the meteorite. And Picky is there.
Yeah, and he's wait, who's up there? The kid?
Picky.
The brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Picky.
So you go collect the brother who's hiding out right by the meteorite, right?
Yeah, which is just ominously glowing. It's not really doing anything to you. But a fly buzzes out of it and starts buzzing all around you.
Yeah, and he starts talking to you.
Can I read his whole speech? We had an abridged version of it before, but this kind of sets up the premise of the game. Because, I think Pokey's B! And also Picky's you're a terrible brother, and I'm the one, trying to take care of you. What's up with this? But anyway, so the bee says, a bee I am not. I'm from 10 years in the future, and in the future, all is devastation. Gygus, the universal cosmic destroyer, sent all to the horror of eternal darkness. However, you must listen. Where I am from, there's a well-known legend that has been handed down from ancient times. It says, when the chosen boy reaches to the point, he will find the light. The passing of time will shatter the nightmare rock and reveal the path of light. You see, it is my opinion that you are the boy, Ness. This I believe. Gygas's monster plan must have been set in motion somewhere on Earth. If you start to confront the enemy immediately, you may have time to counter the evil intentions of Gygas. 3 things are the utmost importance: wisdom, courage, and friendship. The legend from the ancient times tell of 3 boys and a girl who defeat Gygas. I can tell you more about this later. Go now, and do not be anxious about the future. You have much to do, Ness. Or much work.
It's very ominous. Although that's a good amount of exposition, though.
It's a good, especially it's trying to be the old sage role or like the Ben Kenobi, but it's a fly. I quite like that.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. And I like what happens later. So the fly follows.
I like both things.
Yeah, the fly follows you home, and you have to go take Porky. Is it Porky and Picky?
But before you get there,
Pokey and Picky.
Before you get home,
first you have to fight a spaceman.
Oh,
yeah, and
the
spaceman
Jr.
wrecks the fuck out of him.
And Starman Jr. seems to know Buzz pretty well, and it's like, oh, look at the form you've taken. You will not defeat I or Gygas. And then in this fight, Buzz just destroys Starman Jr.
Yeah, he shields you from all damage.
Yeah, and is way overpowered.
So then you go home and you take Pokey and Picky home.
Oh, we should mention Starman looks just like, do you remember Gort from The Day the Earth Stood Still? I think that was his name.
I guess he does look a bit like him.
Is that it? Gort? Let me double check that. Yeah, it's Gort. Wow, I have a good memory. So yeah, you fight that, and then, so Matthew, what happens after this Gort fight?
So you take Pokey and Picky home, and then we get a real sweet domestic abuse scene. Where, actually, I did want to point out that the first thing Picky says to you is sometimes I think I'm the older brother in this relationship, because my older brother is a fucking loser. Anyway.
That he is.
You take them home so that their dad can beat them mercilessly.
Yeah, he takes them off screen and gives them a whooping.
He does. It's so uncomfortable, but it actually happens.
Uh-huh. You just hear the sounds of it off screen, and then the wife is like, oh, my husband's too soft-hearted. Just lets his kids get away with whatever. Oh, there's a fly around me!
And then
she slaps the fly.
And
it dies.
Buzz!
It's awful. This woman with the horrifying clown face just straight up kills Buzz.
Yeah, she looks terrifying. When she faces the camera, her face is all mouth. It is a nightmare scenario.
This is a sprite you'll see several times in the game. There's one walking around Onett as well.
Oh no. I don't want to see this
she
again.
Gygas, right?
Probably.
Yeah, it
but
seems like.
Buzz isn't quite dead. Not just yet.
What does he say?
Buzz sort of gives you a bit more information that he gives you this sound stone.
Oh, right. It tells you there are 8 places of power in the world, and that you can collect power with a sound stone from each of them. And
you need that in order to defeat Gygas.
This seemed very Secret of Mana-y to me.
Mm-hmm. And a bit like Legend of Zelda with getting the tunes and stuff.
Yeah.
And the first sound stone reveals itself to be in a giant step, which is named after the giant footprint in Onett. And he also mentions that you need to go get Paula, who is a girl from Tucson. She'll be
I like
the first
how
of
they
your
spelled
companions.
that in this game, which is it's not spelled like Tucson, Arizona. It's spelled like Tucson, like Tucson, TWOSON, which is pretty funny.
and there's threed, and then there's foursome. I don't remember what the last one's called.
Me neither, but it's pretty funny.
Yeah. So, and then I love this final bit of exposition because he keeps going like, one more thing. I just go find Paula. Do you need me to tell you this all again? And I always say yes, cause he's dying and it's funny to annoy him and make you go through the whole speech again. And then finally, Buzz Buzz dies.
No, Buzz Buzz. He was my best friend.
Personally, I expect Buzz Buzz to have a miraculous resurrection at some point.
I don't know. I think this is all you see of Buzz Buzz. But I've never finished this game, so maybe Buzz Buzz comes back, or the ghost of Buzz Buzz.
I hope so. Well, if it's a ghost, then I'd like to know. But as long as he doesn't come back and is his secret ghost, I'm okay.
So you no longer have your dog. King is like, I'm out. I'm not doing this anymore. I don't like fighting. I wanted to stay home where it's comfortable and I have food.
Yeah, I understand that perspective. That's how I feel most of the time.
Mm-hmm. Pokey and Picky don't want to come with you because they got real terrorized by their father.
Yeah. Which, I mean, it's not good, but at least Pokey and Picky's parents care. You know, that they're not at home.
Yeah, but they beat their children, Vanessa. I think like a little bit of laissez-faire, free-range parenting is okay. I think it's okay to have trust in your children and let them explore. What do you think, Jim? As the parent, which parenting style is better? Nessa's parents or Pokey's parents?
Oh, man. Nessa's parents for sure. I'm not a big fan of negative reinforcement when it comes to parenting, and that is the worst kind of negative reinforcement, is taking your children to their beating room and beating them.
Oh. There's not enough beds in that house.
Sometimes a child need a smack.
There's 2 beds.
Well, the parents sleep in one and the kids sleep in the other one.
I guess that's sort of old-timey. I understand that. All right. Moving on to Onett. Jim, what happens next?
So we go to Onett, and the game, I don't remember how it tells you, but it kind of tells you to go to the library first.
Yeah, it says you can borrow a map there.
Yes. So you go speak to the librarian, and you get a map. And
did you go talk to Liar Exaggerate?
You can go talk to Liar Exaggerate. He pulls you into his treasure dungeon.
Wow!
And shows you all of his shiny treasure.
Ooh.
Tells you can have a piece of it if only you take your shirt off. No, I mean,
whoa.
If you would just let him take some pictures.
So, we have got to kibosh this.
Not funny. There is a golden statue, and he says there's more of them around the world. Is that right?
He seems to think that if he keeps digging, he'll find some more or something.
Yeah, it's kind of not explained very well. Like, he says he's digging for treasure. He found this life-size gold statue that I guess is not treasure enough, so he says he's going to keep digging for more.
That seems like a lot of treasure.
Yeah, he seems pretty greedy. But his name is Liar Exaggerate, and I wonder why they named him that.
I don't know. There's a fun part I just got to in Watch Dogs 2. I finally got past this like crazy stealth sequence I was really bad at. And it involves you going to the base of a Scientology style center, like a temple, with these ancient thousands of years old tablets that have like the glyphs of the original creators on them, which the Tom Cruise character tells you to do because he's trying to get out of the cult. It's a very weird game. And so you have to stealth your way to the basement, and then you accidentally knock over the tablets and they break, and it kind of reminded me of this. Watch Dogs 2, it's pretty fun. I think Vanessa would really like that game.
It sounds pretty great.
Wait, what is it?
Yeah. Watch Dogs 2.
Oh, Watch Dogs. I thought you said Hot Shots 2, like the movie.
No, Watch Dogs. It's like Grand Theft Auto, but not as crappy. Although it's still kind of crappy.
Jim, I believe that's called Hot Shots Part 2.
You're right.
Yes, it is Part 2.
That's
the one with the death
Sheen
count
vehicle, isn't it?
That's right.
I remember the death count meter at the end, like trying to beat Rambo 3. All right. Yeah. So the library, just is sort of, it's like, in the Final Fantasy VI, that tutorial room with all the scholars telling you how the game works.
Yeah. People have some tips, although some people just won't talk to you, which I appreciated, because were I a person in the world, which I sometimes am, I would not appreciate some random kid coming up to me and bothering me at the library.
This does illustrate, I think, one of my problems with EarthBound is the rooms are way too big, and like all the buildings take a while to walk through, and there's like one or two people you can talk to, and you can't interact with anything else.
If you're playing on a SNES emulator, there is a fast forward button that makes walking around very fast. It
does, and it's amazing.
That does sound better. I'm playing it on the Wii U.
Oh, wow.
And Vanessa is playing it on her new 2DS.
Oh,
yeah, thanks to our patrons.
Vanessa.
Well, thank you very much.
I really want to get one. There's a purple one that's Canadian only, and it's really cool.
That sounds right up your alley.
It does. Then I could lend Matt mine, and then we could play Sonic and the Dark Brotherhood.
Dreams come true. Keep dreaming.
I have multiple DSs.
Oh, okay. All right. So after that, the game tells you that you can go to the Giant Step, which is southwest of town. But when you get there are these shifty looking musician types waiting outside. Mm-hmm. And to get to Giant Step, you have to go through this musician shack, which is where the musicians who can't afford hotels can stay. It's like a flop house, if you will.
Yeah, and I will.
And unfortunately, Frank and his gang have wrecked the place, and it is locked by the mayor of Onet. Or one? Do you say Onet or Onet?
I say Onet.
Onet. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Who are Frank and these sharks there, Jim?
They are like a silly, like gang of, I don't know what you'd call them. They're basically, like zoot-suited weirdos.
Zoot-suited? Aren't they like, they look like ninjas with little shark fins on their head.
Frankie's wearing like a suit, right? Like a zoot suit kind of thing.
Frankie looks like a gangster suit, but yes. The rest of them just look like little ninjas with shark heads.
Yeah, that's weird, right?
I thought Frankie just looked like a burnout, like with a mullet.
No, but he's wearing a suit.
No, he's wearing like an 80s style suit. I wouldn't say it's like a zoot suit. I think he looks more like a Miami Vice type.
Yeah, it's like a Goodfellas suit.
Right. And yeah, the sharks are wearing these full black outfits, and all you see is their smile and their fins, and it's a little creepy. A little creepy. Mm-hmm. Exploring the town's pretty fun. There's lots and lots of, you can spend like 2 hours just talking to everybody in this town.
And I did.
Me too. I have to.
This is when I discovered enemies that would call in help, which is obnoxious.
Right. Dun, 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 do, 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 do. That's the do, 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 do. You know, the music.
That was great, John.
Thank you. Yeah, so there's a lot of, and I mean, you can kind of walk around them sometimes, but they will chase after you if you are low enough level.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a little annoying. I just mostly got attacked by wild dogs. and the sharks. And the sharks do call other sharks to assist them. And so you have to like fight the one that calls the other ones. Is it the skateboarder?
But then the other ones will call help too. I fought some fucking ants at one point.
The ants,
and by the end of the fight,
fuck them.
I fought 5 fucking ants in one fight.
I got up to
started with
H.
1.
It started with for me. It started with Ant A, and I think it got up to Ant H.
Yeah, it's insane.
It does remind, like, this is totally a Dragon Quest thing of the enemies calling in other enemies. Yeah, there's a lot of so the town's mostly obsessed with the sharks. Some people are kind of talking about the giant step. Some people are talking about that girl. Like, one guy's really obsessed with that girl from Tucson.
Mm-hmm.
Paula?
Nessa?
Blep.
Yeah, Blep. There's people sort of tell you how the town works. There is a drugstore which has an ATM where you can take out the money that your dad's put into your account. There's a hospital where you can go if any of your friends die, but you don't have any friends, so that doesn't matter.
There's a burger shop that sells a $35 hamburger.
That's got to be one good hamburger.
It does refill your health entirely.
Probably got donkey sauce on it.
I took the donkey sauce. I took the burger out of the trash right next to that place. That was just as good.
Yes,
really.
it lets you pick stuff out of the trash, which is hilarious.
Yeah. There's a hotel which refills your health and your PP, which is your like magic points.
Your PP.
Psi points.
One thing I like in this game is enemies can do a critical attack and it just starts spinning down your health, but you have time before it reaches 0 to heal. If you can get that heal in before it reaches 0, even though their attack was going to kill you, you have time to stop it.
They always attack before me. I always die.
Did you get like some Healy items? Or not Healy, armor? You got some armor and upgraded.
I got the hat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That gives you a lot of protection, by the way, that hat, that baseball cap.
Did you get the good hat from the secret hideout? The gang hideout behind the library?
Wait,
That doesn't change the fact that they always attack before me, so they always kill me.
I don't know. I didn't have that issue.
You know what, Matt? It makes it a lot easier if you use a Game Genie code that gives you infinite health and also makes your weapon kill everyone in one hit.
Sorry, Jim. Did you say Game Genie code, or did you mean did you pray to Andraste?
It was definitely the power of Andraste.
Andraste. You could also spend some time grinding and get your level on up.
That's what I did.
Me too.
Grinding. Fighting the guys.
Grinding.
So
with
you're
my
kind
big
of
old
stuck
thighs.
because there's the mayor won't help you. They're too busy dealing with all these punks. The police won't help you because cops are useless. So what you have to do is go to this arcade that's surrounded by sharks and asks to fight. It's like going to jail where you have to fight like the toughest guy in order for no one to bug you. So you do that. You know, that sounds like bad. Like, unless you're really strong, that seems like a really bad plan in real life.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe the idea is that, like, the guy isn't that tough. He just, like, looks tough because he's big or something. But
I don't know. I'm legit always terrified of going to prison.
Like, all the time you think it could happen
Like
any
in your
moment?
regular life?
I'm like, I feel like I have to prepare myself for the eventuality that I will go to prison.
Well,
And I
stop
will be
breaking
killed.
the law.
I don't break the law.
Well, then why are you
It's
afraid
just
to go
an
to
anxiety.
prison?
I don't know.
I mean, I understand. I don't think that I would like prison very much at all. I didn't like summer camp.
Which is kind of like prison.
It's kind of like prison. You have to go there. You're in a cabin with a whole bunch of other people who you don't know.
Yeah.
They suck. So, yeah, it's just like summer camp.
I almost got arrested one time because my friend told me I could use the pool at his apartment, but it turns out it wasn't his apartment. And then like an off-duty cop who was the guard there was like yelling at us and threatening to arrest us.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that was a bad time.
Well, you were a victim. He tricked you.
Well, yeah, but, not knowing the law is not a defense.
That's
God.
true.
Read a law book, Vanessa.
No.
Anyway, back to the cop. So, Jim,
Yes.
what do you do to Frank and the sharks?
Well, you make your way to the arcade, you fight the sharks, and then Frank, he said he wants you to fight him. So you fight him even though he brandishes a knife.
Whoa. 2 knives.
2 knives. He's double knifing it. And then you fight him, and then he makes you fight his Frankenstein Mark II? Which
is like this crazy robot.
Why does this small town gang lord have a robot? A combat robot.
Well,
It's like made of wood, though.
yeah, it's like a robot that these kids just made out of like what they found in the arcade, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And it's named Frankenstein 2. Mm-hmm. Why 2?
Because there's
Mark
already
2.
Frank. Maybe the Mark 1 wasn't very good. And he's like, I should probably improve.
That's not a very nice thing to say about Mark.
I should probably improve this. And so he, makes you're always revising, right? Nothing's ever finished.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. And did you notice in the arcade, you could see I could definitely make out, a Donkey Kong. That was the one at Space Invaders.
Conky dong. I was sad that I couldn't actually play the games in the arcade.
Me too. But I destroyed Frank and that stupid robot by using what was called Psy Chonk Alpha, I think. What spells did you use?
I used the spell Hit It with my bat because I did not realize that I had a spell that was a
attack spell.
An attack spell.
I didn't have the big spell at this point, at all. I used a spell called Save Scum my way through this goddamn fight.
Oh.
What is a
Maybe
save
the dice will
scum?
roll better for me next time.
Because there's always a chance the enemy doesn't do anything or smiles at you or leers. Mm-hmm. It's just like Dragon Quest.
Or misses.
Yeah. But if you die, you don't lose any experience. You just go back home. The only thing is you have to go talk to your mom to get all your PP back.
PP.
Because your mom gives you a nice big plate of ass and sends you to bed.
Two big old scoops of ass.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all are dumb.
I said pierogies, Vanessa. What was it that you were getting? Meatloaf?
Cake.
Oh,
no, that's
right.
Boring.
Cake.
God, every fucking 6-year-old that played this game put cake in there.
I'm
No,
sorry.
I think they probably put ass in there, Jim.
You're probably right.
Or poo-poo. I don't know.
Yeah.
These are children. So, after you've defeated Frank, suddenly the mayor is a lot more... He's willing to see you.
Mm-hmm.
And
He
the
is
mayor,
very proud of you.
Well, but he's also in the long line of kind of weird, shifty adults.
I noticed something
game.
very interesting when talking to the mayor.
Okay.
So he mentions you beating up the gang, and he says that you beat them senseless and whatever, and that you made them pee their pants. And as I read that, I realized that's not the first time an adult has talked to you about children pissing themselves. And one of the other, I can't remember exactly, but mentions a kid wetting their bed. And how many adults are going to talk to Ness about peeing their little kid pants?
I don't know. I guess the Sharks are supposed to be a high school gang as well, right?
But why
they're not
mention, because it wasn't stated explicitly in the game, why talk about their pants being wet with piss?
I don't know.
I mean, I guess it's just a more eloquent way of saying that they crapped themselves, so...
Why even go to the toilet at all when describing how you defeated this gang?
Because you gotta play this game loud, Jim. You gotta play it loud.
You could just say, man, you wiped the floor with those gangsters, not you made them pee their pants.
You wiped the floor with the urine that flowed from their child trousers.
They peed their pants, and then you made them use their faces to wipe up the pee.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's because, you don't really bloody them or actually hurt them, so they don't want to say something like,
okay,
you killed them, you broke their bones, you smashed their child faces up.
Mm-hmm. I did like that the mayor is willing to give you a key to the giant step if you promise not to hold him responsible for anything that happens to you if you go there.
That does not seem like a legally enforceable contract.
Why is that, Vanessa?
How would I know?
I don't know.
Well, I think because the mayor, by virtue of his position, has taken on certain responsibilities, and he is attempting to contract with this child to waive his responsibility for the child's well-being. However, a child of 13 typically cannot enter into a contract because they don't have the wherewithal to consent to the terms. And a waiver signed by a child to do a dangerous activity usually wouldn't stand up.
Right. And I also think, like, at some point you just can't ask people to waive your liability in situations just because you don't want to have it.
Yes, that is true as well. Particularly in the case of something like an attractive nuisance, which I think that the giant step would qualify as, because it's something that children would want to go see, but it is dangerous for them to do so.
I consider myself an attractive nuisance.
Me too.
What next?
Time to step up.
Step up to the streets.
Step up to the giant
Are we
step.
done yet? Jesus.
We're pretty close to the end here.
Yeah.
So you get the key to this flop house, and it does say, when you go there, it does say don't enter.
Why is it an entertainer's house?
Oh, it's like an area for there's a lot about traveling musicians is a thing that you'll come back to this, Jim.
Okay.
Just say that's a thing in this game.
Okay, it's like, why is it an entertainer's shack? And 2, why do they make the entertainer stay in the shack? 3, why is this entertainer shack behind this, like, big wall, this timber wall?
To keep them safe.
From the sharks?
I don't know.
Nah, you know what? Let's just keep going.
And unfortunately, the entertainer shack is pretty wrecked.
It's terrible.
Liar Exaggerates house was in the same condition except without the hole in the room. Like there has the mattress with the spring coming out and everything.
Liar Exaggerates house had a hole in it.
Yep. Oh, did it?
Yeah,
in the basement.
floor.
That's right. Okay, so very similar condition to Liar Exaggerates house. And this leads you to a series of caves where you fight ants. Those ants that Matthew loved so much.
What are the ants called?
Black antoid or something?
Yeah, antoids.
Androids, that's right.
And there's some slugs, and there's some mice.
I got my dick kicked off a lot here.
Oh, no.
It was not fun.
Literally?
Yeah.
Ow.
You must mean
Yes,
literally.
literally.
Oh. Okay.
Call me John Bobbitt.
This, I died, like, the one time I died in this was when I got swarmed by 6 black antoids at once. And, I just didn't heal in time. There are butterflies randomly flying around, the whole world of Eagle Land, and they will give you 20 PPs back, which is useful.
Yes, it is great when I get my PP back.
Nice.
Bring
You guys know what I'm talking about, right? When you use your dick like a straw, you
Take it to
suck
the
it back
fridge.
into your body.
Can
Wait,
you do that?
why do you do that?
I just drink a lot of water at work, so I have to pee like every hour.
I don't like to give up anything, so I always, after I pee, I always gotta dip in the toilet and get it back.
Or just drink it.
The look on John's face.
That is foul. Huh. All right. So, there is not much to tell about this dungeon. It's big.
Kind of.
I mean, it's not even really that big. The rooms are kind of big, but it's probably like 6 rooms.
Yeah,
I did like when the ants...
It's mostly empty.
Yeah.
And it is mostly empty. The ants are fucking annoying because on screen...
I can't even believe...
If we didn't mention this, which I think we did, the enemies are on screen and do rush you.
Which is cute.
And the ants are tiny, and I don't always notice them.
Yeah, they're just dots moving. I like that, though. I like that the enemies are so small, they just show up as little dots on the screen. I thought it was cute.
And then they call 10 of their fucking friends.
You get to at this very tippity top after hanging out with a butterfly. That butterfly will always reappear the second time you go there. So, that it's a good place to grind if you want to grind. At the very tippity top is this like sparkling thing. It's like a spark, like a shine.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? And it's a angry king of the ants.
The Titanic ant.
Titanic?
Is it Titanic?
It's tantric.
No, it's not.
Okay.
But I love that band. What are you guys talking
That
about?
band is one of the worst bands to come out of white guy 90s of all time.
So, Evan Longoria, who was the star third baseman for the Rays for probably a decade.
I thought she was the one who played the love interest in Brooklyn Nine-Nine season 2.
That's Eva Longoria.
Okay.
Evan Longoria was the star third baseman for the Rays for about a decade.
Are they twins?
The Tampa Bay Rays, the baseball team. And his intro song was one of the tantric songs.
Are they
And so I love
twins?
them, but I've never listened to an album
There were
by
only
them.
like 2 tantric songs. And
But tantric is... Who
it
were
was
they?
like a bunch of guys from Days of the New.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't a bunch of guys. It was Days of the New, but the singer was like, I'm too good for this, and
Yeah,
left.
pretty much.
John, Days of the New was a very shitty Creed knockoff band in the 2000s.
Days of the New was pre-Creed.
No, it was fucking
Are you
not.
sure?
I mean, am I
Why
ever
are we
sure about
arguing
anything?
about this?
All right.
Touch,
so you fight
Peel,
this
Stand, I think, was their single. And it
Touch,
was
Peel,
their...
and Stay.
And the ant does seem to
No, it
have
wasn't. It was
knowledge
Touch,
that
Peel,
you are
Stand. I was
there.
right.
Oh, okay. Well, fuck you.
This is like your sanctuary, and it knows that. And it's like, but to gain access to the sanctuary, you must defeat me in combat. And I died a couple of times because you got to like use your chonk power or your sleep power to kill. The first thing you have to do is kill the ants because those are healing the boss. And then you have to like wail on the ant with your psi power a bit more. And hopefully kill it in like 3 turns, because that thing does like 60 damage to you every turn. It's pretty rough.
Well, yeah, and then the thing about these ants is I'm playing on an emulator, so I had the 2x speed happening, and you can't really see these things on the screen, especially when you're playing on your phone. So I'm pretty sure I ran into every ant that was in this dungeon.
And they keep
Well, talking about the
pinching my
giant ant.
cheeks and telling me how much I've grown.
Aww.
It's your auntie.
All right. So, this whole thing is attacking you. This ant, this Titanic. And
I had to try several times to beat this ant.
Me too.
Save.
And eventually I did.
Scumming. Only way to
I
win.
did it.
Have you guys
I beat the
tried
ant.
praying to Andraste?
I don't think Andraste works through the DS.
Have you
Yeah, I
tried
don't
praying
think
to
so.
Ant Droste?
Oh.
Sorry.
Yeah. So you kill it. You get access to you get access to the top, and you get a new song, a tune into your soundstone.
Which I guess is just like a Zune.
Oh, okay. Yeah, makes sense.
Can the Zune record things, or does it just play them back?
It had like basic iPod Touch capabilities by the end, so I'm sure it could like take pictures and record stuff.
I mean, you don't think
I know
it's
it could play
just
back
like
movies.
a cassette boombox?
I guess it could be. It could be one of those things that you hold and can record
gosh.
onto a tape
Like a
and
Talk
then
Boy?
plays back. Like a
I was-
Talk Boy.
You know what I was just thinking of? I was thinking about how Soundstone sounds like Poundstone, like Paula Poundstone, and there is a Paula in this game. Ever think about that?
I think you just cracked the code.
Oh, great. And now that you've gone to the giant step, you can just head back to the beginning.
It's just a big footprint.
It is the
Yep.
big footprint. Why do they call it? I mean, I see why they call it the giant step, but why is it there?
Why do we give a shit? And also, when you use the Soundstone in your inventory, it opens up a menu of the different places, but you can't do anything. It provides you
Well, it
no
was the first
information.
one.
Well, I guess maybe it'll be more interesting later.
I doubt
Or
it.
not.
All right. Unfortunately, on your way out, you get hassled by the
All
police.
cops
Yeah.
are bad.
Well, these cops in particular, well,
They
at
aren't very
first they're
good.
okay because they're just like, hey, you shouldn't have trespassed in there, please report to the police station at your convenience. But they don't actually
Right.
bring you in, which is okay.
One of the things that
you are-
irked me about this is that it tells you to go to the police station, but when you, I mean, it's a minor annoyance, but when you pull up your map, it doesn't call out the police station on your map.
Right.
It should have.
And it's just this weird yellow building in the southeast
Yeah,
of
and
town.
it's a tiny building. You'd expect a city building in a video game town to be one of relative prominence. This one was not.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you go there, and before I did, I went home to like rest up and get my PP back, and I had a dream about Paula, and Paula was like, Ness, come see me, Ness. I need your help. Come to Tucson. This is Paula. And Vanessa got a little creeped out by this.
I did, because it was like, Nessa, can you hear me? It's me, Nessa. And I'm like, but I'm Nessa, and I'm calling, and I need help. And it was very existential.
Interesting. It's like that ending of that Apocalypse Annihilation movie. Which one won the battle?
I haven't seen that movie.
I don't know what you're talking
Spoiler
about.
alert, John.
Is he talking about Battle Arena Toshinden again? His favorite goddamn movie?
Yeah, he's talking about a Kiki Battle Angel.
Wow.
Wow.
So we do
Wow.
go to the police station eventually,
Yes.
because we
Things
must.
get a bit weird.
Yeah, they pull you
Things
into
get
like a
very
little
weird.
interrogation room and like make you fight club a bunch of police officers that are just hanging out in there.
Why? You're a child.
Yeah, you're a child and these are grown men.
Yeah,
with
but they're like,
authority.
you want to go through the, like, blockade. You can't go through the blockade until you fight us and prove that you're tough enough.
This is inappropriate for children. You shouldn't
It's
be
very
challenging
inappropriate.
children as a police officer too, especially as in a position of authority. Should not be challenging 13-year-old boys to a fight club fight.
No, they should be returning him to his home.
Yeah. Although I believe in Canada, 13 is the age where you can let a kid like hang out on their own. You don't need parental
But it's-
supervision. So yeah, you get there's little snarky comments from each cop as you beat them one by one. They are saying, well, until you get to the fifth one, he's like, I'm out of here. I'm not fighting you. But then Captain Strong's like, I'm Captain Strong.
I am
You
strong.
can't beat me. I am strong like ox.
So you fight Captain Strong bad, and he's like typing on his computer.
Oh, how do I type with these boxing gloves on?
He's just that strong.
Bye, Jim.
Dear Strongbad. Bye, Jim. Yeah, you defeat Captain Strong. He's like, all right, you have proved your worth. You can go to Tucson. We'll clear the roadblock. Just tell them that Captain Strong let you through.
Yeah. And that's the weird ending to this weird chunk of this weird game.
Yep. We went into the police station and we beat up a room full of cops with a baseball bat.
I feel like a live action adaptation of this game would be insane.
It absolutely would be, and they would probably have to cut that part out because
It's too
I don't
real.
know, someone would step in and be like, no, we're not making this like about police brutality in this interpretation of this Nintendo game. Yeah. So it's heckin' weird. It's really weird that we're this kid just wandering around. Every adult you encounter is bizarre, sometimes violent, and I love it.
I don't think there's any mini games in this game, so we'll have to skip the John's mini game corner.
Oh no.
So why don't we head, speaking of your thoughts on this game, let's go to see what we're squarely
Well,
against for
no,
this episode.
let's discuss where we're playing to next time.
So next time on Square Roost, we will be playing through Tucson to the defeat of the mole.
Yeah. And getting the melody.
Guys, what are you squarely against?
This game.
What? Shut up.
It's only the first episode.
All right, fine. I am squarely against the seeming, to me at least, extreme difficulty and need to grind that this game is trying to impose upon me.
I mean, there are solutions.
What about you, Vanessa?
Oh, I am squarely against the horrific sprite of the mother of your friends.
Fair enough.
With her stretched grin and her bleach blonde hair and her murderous ways. She killed my fly friend. It was very sad and I did not like it. What are you squarely against, Jim?
I will say that even though I'm cheating, the game seems much more difficult than I anticipated. So I am level 99. I cannot be killed because I have infinite health. But at the same time, I find myself like having to hit seemingly minor enemies like the ants like 4 or 5 times before killing them.
What?
Even though like I took the
That's
didn't,
too many.
I didn't give myself like super strength. Like what I did was I leveled up to 99. And I put in a cheat that made the cracked bat like 20 points higher in offense or whatever than it would normally be. Mm-hmm. And even still, I'm like having to whack at these things over and over again before I kill them, which makes me feel bad for you guys that aren't cheating.
I didn't find the game that hard. It's just a grindy RPG.
Mm-hmm. But if you do die, you just go back to your save point, but with the experience that you acquired. So that's nice.
Yeah. And you get tons of money every time you call your dad.
That's true. And I also put in a cheat that gave me unlimited money from the ATMs. So I have a lot of money.
That's good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's very good. Well, can I say if I'm roundly for strong against?
Yeah.
Drew Corley?
John, we all know you're roundly for strong bad.
I'm roundly for the music in this game. It is fantastic.
Ah, cool.
Yeah. Listen to it with headphones.
Maybe I will.
You should.
Don't listen to it when you're editing a podcast and not actually listening to it.
Right.
Moving on, ladies and gentlemen, we have an email. Do we have one or two?
Two.
We have 2 emails. So let's...
One we might have done... did we do the second one or not? If not, I can replace it with another one.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Okay. Cool.
All right. Well, I'll read the first one. It reads, Hey, Square Roots. Mm-hmm. I just wanted to write in and say how much I love your show. I have been listening for over a year. You make my hour commute tolerable. Thank you for that lovely compliment. Square Roots.
Yay.
Tolerable. I was hoping you guys could help me make a decision. I will be getting a doggo in the next few weeks, but I need help with a name. It is a male dog, a Boston Terrier French Bulldog mix. I will include a picture of my small popper as well. I'd love to hear your ideas for what to name my new family member. Keep up the great work. I'm so excited for EarthBound. I have never played it, and this may be the first game I actually play along with. Your loving patron, Ashley T. And Ashley included a picture of the smallest goddamn dog I've ever seen.
It's the tiniest little buddy.
Scratch its little nose.
Celebrating.
And behind its little nose.
Oh, it's this like little dark, little black puppy with a little white spot on his head and a little white spot on his neck.
It's the size of the palm of her hand.
And it's celebrating St. Patrick's Day.
He's a little shamrock.
It is. It's covered in
So
shamrocks, which is weird because we got this email like 2 weeks ago. Anyway, ladies and ladies, John, Vanessa, Jim, what do you think?
I have one.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Mine is Bahamut.
Bahamut.
Get it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I do get
Okay.
it.
I have one too.
Mm-hmm.
It's Sephiroth.
Ooh, that's
Because
good.
of fur.
Vanessa?
Mm-hmm.
Cloud9.
Right?
like a canine, but cloud.
Ashley, my suggestion is going to be name your dog Spot. It has a cute spot on its forehead. And you are going to be outside yelling that dog's name a lot and screaming.
Look at that little buddy's
Sephiroth! Sephiroth is not, I'm just looking out.
He's got the little eyes, and he goes like, if he goes right now, he's going like squeak, squeak, squeak. I'm a little puppy.
All right, John
Name
seems to be
it
surprised that the dog
Canary
has eyes.
Warhound.
John, do you have any more name suggestions? Jim?
Let's see.
Not real ones. I have a couple joke ones.
Okay.
Okay,
well, that's
let's hear
what
it.
we're here for, Jim.
I say joke in the sense that, these are not, practical names for a dog. But I have one that's Baldur's Gate.
Ooh, that's good.
And then I have one that's Bork Souls.
Bork Souls.
And then one that is Final Fantasy Tactics, like a pack of dogs.
Oh, God.
How about Choco Bork? Wasn't that one of yours?
That was Vanessa's.
Or is it?
Oh, yeah,
that's
that
right.
was mine. I knew I had one.
Yeah.
Chocobork.
What about, Buddy or Buster?
What about Lassie or Fido?
What about the Ebon Hawk? The best named ship in any game we've played. The Ebon Hawk.
What about
from
Red
KOTOR.
13?
That's actually... He's a dog, right?
I don't know.
Yeah. He's like a,
Or is he like a
wolfy
cat?
doggy
I mean, if you
cat.
want a Final
I don't
Fantasy
know.
name, there's really only one Final Fantasy dog, and that's Shadow, obviously.
You could be Kamari.
Could be Kamari, that's a good
Kamari's
one.
a cat, dude. He's a kitty cat, man.
So what?
Oh, right.
Could be Mog.
What about, remember the named after the dogs from Grandia, Al-Qaeda.
Oh, God, John. What about Mogster? And then you can just run around yelling, "Teach me, Mogster!"
Mogster is a legit great name for that dog.
Mogster is a
Mogster
great
is a
name
good
for
name.
that dog.
Oh, hey. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you're welcome.
Yep, I think we settled on it. Mogster. All right.
Yeah.
Next letter.
Teach me, Mogster. Okay, I'll read this one.
Okay.
Hello, hosts. Once upon a December, I was looking for gaming podcasts that were a little more inclusive than your average and stumbled across Square Roots. I used a Final Fantasy VI Opera episode as a trial, and as soon as Vanessa talked about ogling the boys in the band, I was sold. I'm still catching up on the backlog, but wanted to write in and say how much I'm enjoying myself. Many of the pop culture roundtables I listen to have video games, a pretty massive blind spot. Looking at you, Pop Rocket. So it's really nice
Take
to hear
that,
a
Guy
podcast
Branum.
that focuses on them while still allowing for some current culture discussions in the level ups. Of course, the goofs are pretty great, and so far, I've bounced around. I particularly enjoyed the Trial of Sin's Wellness, Vanessa's stunning rendition of the Knuckleby song, Matt's particularly evil ending to KOTOR after many episodes of I Killed Them All, and Bean Valley.
Bean Valley.
Oh,
I
Big
personally
Valley.
never finished Dragon Age Origins because I'm a pretty bad arachnophobe. I beat Redcliffe and the Circle, got to Orton Vague, saved my game, and never played it again. I share Vanessa's love of Alistair. Paris the Thought is a line reading that stuck with me for a while, though he never seemed to return my affections on console, even after asking about licking lampposts in winter. That I'll get to hear several hosts make different choices and describe the end of the game is pretty exciting after all this time. Also, John, your Tegan and Sarah joke wasn't lost on me.
Yay!
I am, however, playing Dragon Quest V for the first time and loving it. I just married Deborah and am addicted
right
to
choice.
TNT. Thank you all for pointing me in that direction. Can't wait to hear the rest of the Dragon Quest series, and I hope that Shadow Heart's Covenant is on the list for the year, so twice you named it twice. Best,
Yep.
Zachary.
It is not, because we won't play Shadow Hearts, the first one this year. So Shadow Hearts Covenant will not be on the year so twice. You named it twice.
Why not?
Yes, that year is only for sequels.
We haven't
2020,
played the
the
first
year
one.
so twice, we named it
Why
twice.
can't we play Shadow? Why
Yep.
can't we play it this year?
Oh, I guess we could. We could play Shadow Hearts this year and then play, but then, I don't know, that gets confusing. We can do it. Let's make it happen.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your letters, and obviously, please keep sending them in. We love reading them and naming people's dogs.
Matt rolled his eyes at us.
But before we go, we have a Patreon that we need to plug.
All right. Patreon, $3 gets you bonus episodes. We're recording one this weekend. We're recording one next weekend. We're recording another one at some point, and then another one.
Hey, I saw a trailer for Rocket Man in front of Captain Marvel today, and it looks pretty good, y'all. I don't really like biopics. It looks pretty good.
It does look good. I don't like that Eggy from the Kingsman movies.
What's his name?
The worst character.
Taron
Egerton or something?
Egerton.
Yeah. I don't know anything about him outside of the Kingsman movies. He looks really good in this movie.
He looks really good in this. Anyway, that was neither here nor there. I'm sorry.
But I don't care for Eggy as a character.
Do you remember when we were young and me and Mary would have so much fun?
I never really listened to a lot of Elton John, but that trailer made me think that maybe tomorrow when I'm bored, I'll pull up a best of on Spotify and give it a whirl.
Oh man, Elton John is so good.
Crocodile Rock is my favorite.
I mean, I like the songs I've heard for sure. I've just never really, it's never been on my playlist, you know?
Oh man, put it on there.
My favorite is Benny and the Jets.
Tony Danza is a good song.
Tony Danza is the best song. I love it.
Anyway, this has nothing to do with our Patreon plug. But this is the type of
Also,
nonsense you can
at the
expect
$5
when you're a subscribed patron. For $3 a month, you get our bonus episodes. We vary those between Instant Classic, where we discuss a brand new game, Square Roots Versus, where we discuss an old busted-ass game, and what's the other one? Oh, Square Roots Level Up, where we just kind of talk about pop culture and other bullshit in general. Plus the occasional rando bonus up, like our forthcoming Captain Marvel discussion episode. For $5, you get all that and voting rights. What? That's right. If you're a patron, you can vote on the games we play. And there's a vote going on right now. Actually, it's probably over right now.
How about you and I just pick a scary game to play for Scare Roots and then record it sometime?
We should. What scary game are you thinking about, John?
I don't know. I just started Silent Hill 1 for the PS1.
That's cool.
That game's too hard to play.
So Silent Hill, what do you like? What's hard about it?
It's just like you can see literally 3 feet in front of you.
Oh yeah,
and it's got those old Resident Evil tank controls.
Yeah, I think I'd love to do. We could do Resident Evil 1.
They have a Silent Hill 2 re-release that has updated controls. That's a lot of fun to play.
Ooh, and
that's also like the best Silent Hill game, and it's scary.
Yeah, that's
as
a big
hell.
blind spot for me. I've always wanted to play that one.
Ooh, it's so good.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, please patreon.com/Square Roots Podcast. We appreciate every patron, and you are helping us keep the lights on here in the Square Roots house. One of the benefits is, if you are a patron, we read your name right here on the show, which we're going to do right now. Jim.
Also, who ate all my peanut butter?
Me. Sorry. I had to feed the kids, John.
But if you eat it, buy some more.
They're your children.
Oh, I did impregnate you.
What?
Nothing. All right. Jim.
All right. So I'll start reading Patreon names now. Let's see. Robert T., Dr. Steve Stone, Tyler Petty, Jake Fuzzy Pickles Dickerson, who plays dead, Andy Best, Jonathan Ellsworth, Chris Penyak, Ward Childress, Devin Sloan, Matt's boyfriend Jimifer, Jared Collins, Julian Titus, Nathan Porro, Matt Jorgensen, Zachary Davis, Benjamin Avner, G. Bailey.
We'd also like to thank Brian Stone, Has a Big Ol' Crush On, John's Gatekeeping Lunacy.
Who doesn't?
George Armbruster, Owen Marble, Bree Girth, Miguel Torres, Ross Hartley, Brady A. Berman, Xavier Krieger, Cameron Shoei, Megan Sullivan, Kiva Mosser, Tom, Joseph A. Rogers, Ashley T., Andrew Granieri, Cyril the Wolf, Justin Ham, You're Tearing Me Apart, Vanessa's Mom, Brian Pitt, and I would listen to Matt's Wheel of Time Corner. Wouldn't you? You're goddamn right I would. Vanessa?
Bobby Midkiff, Race Jenkins, Tracy Tanoff, Andrew Boggle, Noddle Zaus, Resty Kamada, Huxley Iguana. Vanessa votes for Alistair Iron Bull romance option. I do, and let me tell you more about the reasons why. Reason number 1. Alistair is a very soft, sensitive boy who needs a strong guiding hand in his life, and Iron Bull is just the canary to provide that hand. Reason number 2. Dreamy men kissing each other is dreamy. Reason number 3. I ran out, actually. That's it. Eric Garby, James Hostetler, Aaron Bachman, Stu Skeel, Ryan Miller, Brody Toy, James Plett, Vanessa's mom. Matt said to change this to you guys should start a Wheel of Time pod. Matt. Sean Walsh.
Label Sec, Sam Harrison, PJ Ends, Julia Zanella, Patrick Loves Bears, Jonathan Lee, Florian Jonas Kramer. Fine. Say everyone's name. At least it annoys Matt. David Shook Gregory, Wonder Swan, Robert M. Pullum, Tibumpkins, Randy Pierce, Crystal Thamrin, Justin Benoit is fighting to the death with Jason, Kyle, Samu Mitchell.
Thank you so much, patrons. Jim.
All right, everybody, that's it for this week's episode of Square Roots. If you would like to have your email read on the podcast, you can email us at squarerootspodcast@gmail.com. If you cannot be bothered to send an email, come see us at our Facebook group, the Square Roots Podcast Group for smart, cool, very attractive people, or you can tweet at us. We are at Square Roots Pod.
Big thanks go out to Extra Lives for their ska cover of Battle Against a Mobile Opponent. Check Extra Lives out at youtube.com/extralivesmusic. Also, big thanks to Stephen Morris for his cover of Summers. This and a ton of other VGM covers are available on Stephen Morris's Spotify, iTunes, and more. Links for both are in the show notes. Please rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts.
All right, everybody, that's it for Square Roots. I am Jim Banks.
I'm Matthew Van Zant.
I'm John Brandon.
And I'm Vanessa.
Bye.
But he might not be physically present, but he's very encouraging emotionally and financially.
Hi, Jay, then. Did anybody else see that? Her head popped up behind Chip's shoulder.
You did.
Is it funny talking about being an encouraging dad while you're ignoring your children?
Somebody
right behind you.
Oh, is Jalen up? Hold on.
We don't have kids. But we're squarely against for this episode.
Let's discuss where we're playing to next time.
Oh. Let me look at that guide. I had it open a second ago.
So that's it for EarthBound, right, guys? Like, we're done?
That's it for this episode of EarthBound.
How many episodes is this one going to be? Like 2?
6, I think.
Now, I'm happy that you all seem to be enjoying this so far. It seems very much not for Matt, and I am already very much annoyed by this game. I may look into doing some Jim-style Power of Andraste, though. That might actually help.
I mean, yeah.
I feel like we should just do Tucson next time.
Is it a lot?
It's quite a bit.
Okay.
Like Tucson,
Arizona.
Happy Valley, all of that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Freeing Paula and then getting the Lily. Okay, yeah. So defeat the Mondo Mole, get Lilliput Melody, and return to Tucson. And yeah, I think that'll be good enough for this chunker.
Okay.
Let me just see if there's something. The strategy guide's hard to read. I think I might just need to go to not the official strategy guide, because this one's just full of nonsense. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So defeat that mole. That's a good place to stop.
Okay. So next time on Square Roots, we will be playing through the defeat.
Don't eat your microphone.
Don't what?
Don't eat your microphone.
Oh.
No. Ooh, you got a little chip in your tooth there, buddy.
Huh?
You got a little chippy in your tooth.
Yeah, I know.
Oh. Ow.
Yeah, I know.
So next time on Square Roots, we will be playing through Tucson to the defeat of the mole.